In the close-knit community of Maplewood, where neighbors became like family and everyone seemed to know each other, the sudden disappearance of Miss Lillian Harper was a heart-wrenching shock. A dedicated primary school teacher, Lillian was cherished by both her students and their families. Her kindness and passion for education shone brightly, illuminating the lives of many. But on a crisp autumn morning in October 2021, she didn't arrive for work, turning a tight-knit community into a place gripped by fear and uncertainty. Lillian was last seen leaving her home around 7:30 a.m., heading to her school for a staff meeting. When her colleagues began to notice her absence, concern quickly gave way to panic. Her friends and family were distraught, desperate to understand why someone so integral to their lives had vanished without a trace. At her home, officers discovered an unsettling scene. A freshly brewed cup of coffee on the counter, her bicycle parked crossing the driveway, and her belongings left untouched as if she would return at any moment. As the investigation unfolded, the community rallied together, flooding the streets with search parties and putting up flyers. Every face they encountered echoed the same trepidation. Something must have happened to Lillian. The town's collective heart ached for her family, who clung to hope despite the overwhelming darkness settling over their lives. Initially, investigators suspected a random act of violence. Fearing the worst, they scoured the nearby woods and a local creek. Yet each passing day without answers only deepened the despair felt by everyone. As the weeks wore on, frustration turned to an unwilling acceptance that Lillian had gone missing, leaving the community grappling with terror and sorrow. However, as the investigation progressed, a different story began to unravel. Detectives sought to understand Lillian's state of mind before her disappearance, leading them down an unexpected path. They discovered a relationship with a man named Maxon, a former student with a troubled past. Friends revealed that Lillian had confided in them about her fears of his increasingly volatile behavior. While many in town had seen Maxon as a troubled soul, few could have imagined that their paths would intertwine so tragically. When police brought him in for questioning, Maxon presented himself as a concerned boyfriend, desperately searching for Lillian. Yet, doubts began to grow as inconsistencies came to light in his account. The community, gripped by anxiety and the need for answers, began to turn against him, amplifying the pressure he faced as investigators worked to determine if he had any involvement in her disappearance. Just when it seemed that Maxon might be the focus of the investigation, a surprising twist emerged. Witnesses came forward, stating they had seen Lillian just before she vanished, leaving a diner in the company of a woman named Nikisha Foster, a newcomer to Maplewood who was known for her investigative journalism. The relationship between Lillian and Nikisha was unexpected, and it opened up a whole new set of questions for the investigators. As they dug deeper into Nikisha's life, they unearthed a startling truth. She had been investigating corruption within the town's administration. Lillian and Nikisha had crossed paths that fateful morning, and it appeared they had engaged in a conversation that led to their departure together. Could their meeting have pivoted from a casual encounter to something far more dangerous? The town was left reeling, with emotions running high and the possibility of betrayal haunting their thoughts. It became clear that Lillian's disappearance was tied to something deeper than anyone had expected. The fear of corruption, power, and betrayal painted a picture that shook the town to its core. After weeks of searching, hope dimmed, but hard evidence finally emerged. A piece of clothing matching what Lillian had been wearing was discovered by a hiker in a secluded area known for illegal activities. Investigators found themselves standing on the precipice of a dark and painful truth. Lillian may have been caught in a web of conspiracy, revealing how the very fabric of their safe community was fraying at the edges. In the final stretch of the investigation, detectives confronted both Maxon and Nikisha, resulting in a chilling confession from Nikisha. She admitted that a confrontation with Lillian had led to desperate choices, as Lillian had uncovered critical information about the town's corruption. The realization was devastating. Lillian had become entangled in a conflict beyond her control. Nikisha was charged in court, and the jury found her guilty of first-degree murder, sentencing her to life without the possibility of parole. Though Lillian Harper's body was never found, her story resonated throughout Maplewood, forcing the community to confront uncomfortable truths about their beloved town and the fragility that lay beneath its surface. The grief was palpable. Her absence left an irreplaceable void in the hearts of those who knew and loved her. Maplewood would forever bear the scars of this tragedy, grappling with the emotional fallout and the painful reminders of a woman who illuminated their lives. In the wake of Lillian's disappearance, the town learned the hard lesson that even in the safest of places, darkness can quietly seep in. With every flicker of hope dimmed, the memory of Lillian would linger, a poignant reminder of love, loss, and the complexities of human connection. As you reflect on Lillian Harper's story, let it be more than just a chilling mystery. Let it be a call to cherish the people around you and to never take the bonds of community for granted. In a world where even the brightest lights can be suddenly extinguished, every moment of kindness and connection matters. If you see someone struggling, reach out. If you sense something is wrong, don't hesitate to offer support or speak up. Our vigilance, compassion, and willingness to look out for one another are what truly keep our communities safe. Let Lillian's memory remind us. Behind every closed door and every quiet life, there may be untold struggles, and it is all of us, together, who can make a difference. Stay watchful, stay caring, and never forget the extraordinary impact that one person's courage and kindness can have on a town, a family, and the world.